Okay, I went ahead and restarted the stream. So this will be starting over from scratch. Hopefully this works okay. I went ahead and restarted the stream. I'm hearing myself talk now, and we're going to get quite the feedback loop if I don't close this down. So far it looks like we have... Okay, it looks like we're live and good to go. So first of all, before we get too far, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening in on this and being a part of Feathers Will Fly. This entire community, this what it used to be a league. We've all come together as duck game enthusiasts, and I feel that we are on a path to really making something great. And I'm just really proud to be a part of it. And I'd like to thank all the folks who donated, the folks who have participated in the tournaments, the individuals who have donated their time and energy and effort to help out with this. It means a lot to me. This is a passion project for me, and it's because of a love of the game. And what I'm looking to achieve tonight is to pass along some of what it is that I do, and in the past Zat Mamune has done, and Captain Quack, what they have done to run the tournament. And the ultimate goal here for just today's broadcast is that there's more than just a small handful of people who are able to host tournaments. I've had a lot of requests for things like 2v2 tournaments, and we had one a couple of weeks ago. It was phenomenal. It was an incredible amount of fun. Today, just on a whim, White Ink came up with a suggestion. Hey, let's do an 8-player, and we put the message out there, and suddenly the lobby filled up with folks wanting to do an 8-player, and it was absolutely incredible. If anyone's listening in on this and it's late for you or it's early for you, understanding there's different time zones, I will be not only keeping this up on my Twitch stream, but also putting it up on YouTube. So feel free to just, we're good there. The goal is for us to be able to host tournaments in the EU or in UAE or in different time zones. I understand 10 o'clock at night isn't friendly for everyone, and it's the whole reason that we have tournaments Thursdays at 10 o'clock at night is that was the time that I had available to do it, and I knew I didn't have any commitments that I had to attend to. This isn't about me. This is about the community. So I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see more flexibility with the way that we do things. If I get sick or something like that happens, I'd love for folks just to know what's going on and how to run things, and I think that would be a good thing overall. All right. All right, I'm going to close out the chat window now after seeing AD's comment. I'm not sure how much of that. People are probably going to skip over that anyway, so don't worry about it. But hopefully this is something that you're all familiar with at this point. The Feathers Will Fly website, and on here, which it looks like we have... this is the one. This is going to be embarrassing because I don't know if it's Beaker or Beaster. I don't know if it's a hard C or a soft C. I'll have to figure that one out. I'm sure I'll look at chat and figure that out. But teaching me how to run things a lot easier, so I don't have to update every single page with the toolbar. Here's what we get when we first go to the home page. We're making a lot more use of the chat and just kind of hanging out in there, putting games together. Hopefully you're all familiar with the bracket. And my vision here is that once everyone joins in the chat for the tournament, that when it comes 10 o'clock, everyone kind of keeps their eye here and waits for things to populate, and then suddenly out of nowhere, everyone's name comes up, and you know who you're up against, who's hosting the lobby. Everything happens at once. So here's a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes, and I will ask a few different people. I'll ask for volunteers in chat to do this along with me on your computers. I have created and I haven't saved it yet, so why don't I do that? Okay, so this is quite the embarrassment because it looks like I did actually save it, and it looks like my code is garbage because it's not coming up. Let's try refreshing. Let's see what that does. Okay, so up here, and I just put this on here. So we have copy 1, copy 2, and copy 3. These are all copies of the Feathers Will Fly spreadsheet that's in Google Docs for you to edit along with me as we go, or at least view along with me as we go. I didn't have a chance to remove all of the protections from here, so if you're unable to do that, I apologize in advance. Regardless, I'll walk you through what goes into it. So everyone starts out 9:30, is the official, hey, here's where we're going to start populating players. So we look in the chat. We're looking at who's there within the group, and the first thing that I do is I have my chat window up with everyone's name on there, and I have my spreadsheet up, and I'm going to go over to the registration. Huge props to Zap Mamune for setting up the registration the way that he did. What I have learned from his work just through reverse engineering is incredible. But here's how we go about doing it. So we have the members that are in chat, and the default assumption has always been that, hey, if you show up when it's tournament night, that you're going to be in the tournament. Maybe we'll end up changing that since we're using the chat a lot more for just pickup games and that sort of thing. But assuming that everyone here is in the tournament, the way I do it is I just start typing in the name. I start ACR, and it comes up automatically. This actually references itself against a player list, which I'll show you in a little bit. So we have QC space pipe space KQ TMZ. Well, we don't need to mess around with the QC. We can just do KQ, and it comes up. The searching here is very smart. We have Tanagram. Tanagram is not currently a registered player within Feathers Will Fly. But what I can do here is I'll put them in anyway, and that's going to flag as invalid, and that's okay. I'll focus on that later. We have let me see if okay, I don't know if this is a speaker or beaster, so I'm still going to be ignorant about that. I apologize, and you're so helpful with the website too, so I feel like a complete ass here, but we'll put you in. So there we go. We have me. There's that. White ink. There's that. Blinky. And it looks like we have someone new. Welcome to Feathers Will Fly. I am going to go ahead and, I don't know if you're watching this or not, but I am going to invite you to the group. I appreciate you being a guest. And seeing as how you're here, we will add you as a. Oh, okay, it looks like Slinky is out and someone is looking at the sheet right along with me. I do not have this range protected right now, which is fine. People can go in, help out with that, and I believe that I can either undo that or I can go back. This is a handy thing too, just in case someone goes in. I've done this a number of times before myself, where something got really, really screwed up, and I can go to the revision history under File, and I can see in here all the different revisions that were made to the sheet, and from there I can basically go roll it back to whenever I want. You can see all the revisions we've done. We've done a ton of them. We can see back to September 1st when I think I first made the sheet at that point. Regardless, we're going to close out of the revision history here, and we'll continue with what we were doing. So we are adding Bush did 9/11. Okay, and once again, that comes up as a invalid entry, which is fine at this point. So we have two players who have never participated within a Feathers Will Fly tournament. Welcome to the league. For those players, we're going to go over to the Players tab. We're going to add them. Now we scroll down to the very bottom. As of the, I want to say 18th tournament, we have 134 players who have actually played and been in the tournament. We need to add 2 more. Now this is where Google Sheets gets a little bit different than the way Excel works. So if you're used to using Excel, Google Sheets is quite a bit different here. We're going to select however many we need to add. Okay, so if it's 1, we select 1. If it's 2, it's 2. I'm going to do it both ways. So first we'll start with 1. If we're just adding 1 player at a time, we select the row just by clicking on the number over here. We right click and we can insert another row. Here I'm going to insert it below. So now we have this whole other row. Most of the content on this row, you can see in the formula bar up here, is most of the stuff is just code, right? And we can copy and paste the code, and most of it's going to come through. So if we copy, I just hit Control C. I'm going to go through it visually so everyone can see it. I'm going to copy that and go back and select this row, and I'm going to paste it. And there we have Vernalex twice. Now, of course, we don't need Vernalex twice. What we really need is we need to put Tanagram in there. So, yeah, you can either type the name in, or I can copy, paste special values. I don't want to just copy and paste it because that'll mess up the formatting, kind of like I did with the purple ones all through here, which we need to go and fix. But now Tanagram is added. Now what you may have noticed, or maybe not, but we had a cell change colors up here. It says update database. What does that mean? Well, to make this entire system work, there is a database of players that has a lot of different values in it that are computed to make the leaderboards work, and to make it just, we'll just say this, to make the system work as a whole. And so we need to do exactly the same thing with the database as we did with the leaderboards. I'm going to put that on hold right now because I'm going to show you a little bit easier way to do it. Usually week by week, we have more than one new player, and it looks like for the people in the chat right now, there's no exception, provided that Bush did 9/11 is sticking around. So we're going to, once again, well, copying and pasting, that won't really do a whole lot of good because we need to, once again, insert another row here. We need to copy and paste this. Once again, we got Tanagram doubled up. Update database is still there. We go back to register, copy that, players, paste special values, and we're good there. And you know what? Just because this is bothering me, I am going to fix the colors here by pasting special format only. Looks like there's some hidden stuff, so no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to reverse it and pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so we'll move on. We added 2 new players here. Tanagram and Bush did 9/11. So we'll go to the database. We need to add 2 players there. You can see they correspond. When we look at our players, right now we're up to 136 here. In our database, we're only up to 134. Here's the other way to go ahead and add 2 rows to it, is you can select 2 rows. Okay, let's try to do this without resizing or moving. Select 2 rows, right click, and you can see we can now insert 2 rather than just 1. So we inserted 2 rows. Now, unlike the players where we actually have to put in the name of the player, whether it's through typing or copy paste, here it is simply a copy and paste operation. We copy it, we paste it. And you can see on here that Tanagram and Bush did 9/11 are now in the database. We go back to players, and we can see update database is no longer a flag that's up here. And we go back to the registration. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you for telling me that. Let me check my stream real quick because that is a problem. Okay, that should fix it. And I'm going to wait up until I get confirmation that that fixed it. You're all probably looking at the same thing that I am, where just got some help that the part of the stream wasn't visible. Much better. Okay. Well, all I was talking about earlier is there is the ID number of the players. Each player has their specific ID that's associated with them, which the beautiful thing here is if someone changes their name, and I'm going to pick an example here. I know Captain Quack changed his name to Captain Crack. So, and I never fixed that. So I'm going to go in and fix that right here. I'm going to, I'm just going to do this the way I'm comfortable with. Control F is find. I'm going to find in sheet Captain. So there's Captain Firm Handshake. There is Captain Quack. And I'm going to change this to Captain Crack. He changed his name. Nice thing here, Captain's been around from the very beginning. He is the 6th player that we've ever had within the tournament. You'll see some common names up here of some of the very first founding people that made this happen. If we go to the leaderboards now and we look for Captain Crack, see, he didn't lose any of his stats. He's still, 3rd place semifinalist multiple times, which those of you who have played the tournament know that to get into the semifinals is no easy task by any stretch. We have a lot of great players. Um, all right, so I'm kind of getting off track here. That's the gist of the players tab is each player has an ID associated with them. The ID numbers of the players correspond with the ID numbers of the database itself. Okay. Now, at this point, we have all our players registered. Okay. And at 10 o'clock, which, we usually don't have a hard cutoff at 10 o'clock. The rule is at 10 o'clock, if you're not there, then you're late for the tournament. Okay. Sometimes there's leeway for that. The last tournament, we had a really nice turnout. We had a high turnout, and I couldn't add people to the system fast enough to keep up with it, and people just kept showing up. And it honestly was great. There was a point though where I had to say, "Hey, we have a cutoff," and I'm going to show you why that is. Now we have all the people who are going to participate in this tournament, and there's 8. This is the smallest turnout for a tournament we've ever had. When we go to brackets, we still see that there's nobody there, and that's exactly what we should see at this point. Where the magic happens is in these red cells and these green cells. Now the red cells, to make it easy to select, you'll see that these cells right here are kind of wide, and there's a few little skinny ones that are there in the middle. Well, those ones are actually the ones that have the code and the data in them. A couple of them that do what they do. Over here, right now, as it stands, we don't have anything. Completely blank. Inside of Google Sheets, there is a random number generator function. And what's interesting about the RNG function here is whenever you change the contents of any cell or any piece of the sheet, formatting, it doesn't matter. The RNG resets and it re-randomizes, it reseeds. Of course, that's a problem if we get people looking at brackets and they say, "Oh, let's arrange the game." We have Lucid is hosting, AD and hosting. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I apologize, BRDW. But if we have people starting to host games and then we add someone and then the RNG reseeds itself, that's going to reseed the entire bracket. So here's how we go about handling that. We have all these folks in here. What's in the red is continuously reseeded. But whenever we say, okay, the bracket is final, what we're going to do is we're going to copy what's in red. We're going to paste special values on what's in green. I will repeat that. This is very important. This is what people see, is we're going to copy what's in the red cells, paste special on the green. I know it's up here, but I reiterate the importance of it because when we are looking at the actual site and we have everyone who's going to be participating within the tournament with their eyes on the bracket, and they're saying, okay, what's happening here? Well, when we do it right, okay, takes a little bit of time for everything to update, but there it is. And everything is seeded at this point. Everything is final. Okay, after we populate the green cells, we populate the brackets, we will not be adding or removing, for that matter, any players who are here. It's done. If a player doesn't show up, if they're a no-show, we have rules for that. We will continue without them. Now, in this example, like I said, lowest turnout we've ever had, 8 players. Not a problem. We're going to automatically advance the players who move forward. About advancing. Advancing is something that everyone can do. Anyone who's participating within the tourney can advance. The official way to advance is to do it within the chat. And we immediately after a game concludes, we'll see people go to the chat and we'll say Lucid and Tanagram advance, for an example. Yeah, that's going to confuse the heck out of the people who are in chat and not watching the stream, but I'm fine with that. So that's when we go in here and anyone can do this. This is a change from even an hour ago. Okay, it used to be you put an O there, and that's something that was coded into the sheet. I decided I didn't like it. I decided that it makes more sense for me to do an X like a checkbox rather than an O for tic-tac-toe type of thing. So, to advance someone, you click on the cell right here to the upper right-hand corner, and you put an X there. That's going to turn it bright green, and that's going to advance them to the next round. How it should be is we should not be able to just type someone in for the advancement. It looks like we can right now because that's not protected, and that's quite frankly an issue that I need to address because that'll mess everything up. But we're going to advance everyone who needs to be advanced. And like I said, it takes a little while for Google Sheets to update because there is some quite a bit of conditional code that's in here that is behind the scenes making this happen. But here we see the different face-offs, and once again, the way the Feathers Will Fly tournament works, the top 2 out of 4 advance. Well, here, since there's only 2, everyone advances. So basically, everyone who's here, it is a bad habit. I'm almost hitting the O here instead of the X. Once again, we just put X's up in that corner. That flips them green. You've all seen this before, how it looks. And now we have everyone populated in the quarterfinals. Of course, from this point forward, we play out the rounds. And please, at this point, don't anyone get think that I'm doing anything crazy here. I think that I'm, one player's better than another. I'm just going to advance the bottom 2 of each bracket. So KQ, Tanagram, you guys all get to advance. Once again, just putting X's in there in that specific cell. That advances. We'll roll with the bottom 2 here, and then bottom 1 there. So using this with a 8-player tournament, Tanagram is the winner. And that concludes tournament. I don't have the window sized for this. That concludes Tourney 19. So great job, Tanagram, on winning that. No one has to show up on the 24th, Thanksgiving Day, because Tanagram already won it. So thanks for showing up. Just first plan there. All right. Now, going back to where we were looking at the Google Docs. So that explains when I'm, from the time that we start the tournament up until the time that we finish the tournament, what happens. But then what happens after that? As you know, the weeks don't just populate themselves, right? Here, we're still on tournament 19 for the 24th. We need to get to the 30th or the 31st or whatever it is, the first. We select just like we did before. We go down and we select everything that's there from the top to the bottom before we hit the header of the last tournament. And we're going to insert 116 cells above that. When we do that, it inserts them, but it formats them the same way as the first cell. So we're going to have to go down once again, go down, select these 116 cells. Now we're going to copy them. And we can go up here to number 1 and we can paste them. And that'll format it exactly the same way as it was before. We have a bunch of NAs in here, and that's to be expected because when we look at the register, well, we need to do the same darn thing. Here we have a header row that never changes. So once again, you look through the pattern here. We have a pattern, and I ended up changing the color to match more with the website, but still we have the gray here. And we're going to select from the top down to just above that header. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Insert 34 above. And then we're going to copy it. One little difference that Excel has compared to Google Docs is in Excel, I could select it, then copy it, then insert, then paste it, and it'll come out okay. Within Google Docs, that does not preserve formatting when we do it that way, so we really have to insert the cells and then go back and copy them again before we paste them. Excuse me. So we're going to paste that back. Now you'll remember the things that we had to input in here. Everything that we input for the last tournament, we have to undo. So all the players, select those, and we delete them. And I'm just going to hit the delete key here. So we delete all the players. The green cells, we also have to delete because those are our seeds with the players from here. Everything's hidden, but we still gotta go in and delete the green cells. And lastly, in the brackets, now you'll see we don't have any sort of errors here, but we still have the green advance marks. And we need to select those and delete them. And you shouldn't be deleting the contents of these cells because there's formulas in there that that work the sheet. But all of these green advanced cells we delete. And yeah, it looks, I think I know what happened here. I think I unlocked this thing so that I could run the 2v2 tournament, and I never locked the cells so we couldn't edit them. But anyway, that's in retrospect. So we just deleted the advancement. So now we are set up for December 1st. 0 players. The tournament has not begun. And we're at tourney 20. And we're ready to rock for the next tournament. Our players are preserved. Our leaderboards are now updated. You can see that in first place, Tanagram has taken a first place finish at this point because all of this is based on what we've already done, and that's why it's especially important to have consistency and accuracy as we do this. So with that said, we went through everything. I'm going to ask within the chat basically, what questions do you have about the process? yeah, it kind of open it up to some Q&A here, or feedback in general, really. I know I'm a few seconds behind here. I preemptively answered the questions. Good. I mean, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Who else is? Do we have anyone else watching this by chance? All right. Well, with that said, and I'll keep an eye on this, but if you've made it this far, thank you for watching this and taking an interest on how we do the tournaments. I do have a preliminary version of the 2v2 tournament that I'll share with you, and yeah, I've since removed it from the main website. This is basically what it looks like here, where we have our 2v2 team sign up that we've done ahead of time. I had, whether it's something that was verified that the teammates really wanted to be with each other or not, has flags on whether that person was a part of the tournament or not, but I never really integrated this with the rest of it. And the brackets here were all, as you can see, done manually. So if we're going to continue to do 2v2 tournaments, this is something that I would like to automate. The 2v2 was just incredible. We had the biggest turnout that I've had out of any tournament ever. It was on a Saturday night. It was an alpha test tournament just to see what would happen. I'm kind of toying around with the idea of doing other styles of tournaments, 1v1, or I hardly dare say this, but the 8-player game today was just nuts. So that would be fun as an unofficial thing. But yeah, feel free to email me. I'll throw my email up here for you. It's lucid@featherswillfly.com. I think I have it on the website also. Of course, if you're on Steam, you can PM me if there's anything you need. And most importantly, like if there's anything that that you'd like to do, you'd like to help out with in furthering what our group can do and bring the values of our community together of fun competition and mutual respect that we have built together, please let me know if that's something that you want to contribute to. I value who's already contributed to it. Once again, thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and cut it short, or cut myself off at this point. Thank you all. We'll be in touch.